Mike's Daily Podcast.
Is it Friday yet? You know, these short weeks throw me because I guess I get a pacing going, but when it's only 4 days, it seems like it should be done now. But it's only Thursday. That's the beginning of my little rant for today. My little rant tea is what that is, and welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, episode something rather.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Really?
I should probably know what it is. 1,600 and something. And
Mike's Daily Podcast.
oh my God, we're almost at 1,700. In fact, this is the last 1,600 series podcast, and I think I'm a little dreary. I'm a little weary because it's gonna be a big show. 1,699, 1,699. Oh my gosh, that was a great TV show about space. It was called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
No, it was called Space 1999. Did you ever? Martin Landau was on it, and I guess you can watch episodes for free on YouTube because
Daily
someone illegally
Podcast.
uploaded that show.
Yeah.
It was an interesting British/American TV show from the 70s. I remember my dad liked it. We would watch it, and I would be like, "What's this? Is this Star Trek? Is this what does?" But hey. This is going to be an interesting show today because people are reaching out to me. From all over the world. Well, but first someone's walking in. Hello, my commercial. It's Madame Rootabega, and everything I hear on the news is about this stupid hearing. Oh, I know, it's making my hearing go. I'm getting tired of hearing of the Kavanaugh hearing. I know, my commercial. It's terrible. Oh. Exactly. Ooh. Because look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. It's Valentino, the parking attendant. Where's my best friend in the whole world? Oh, here he is, parking the cab.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? You parked the car right in the bar. The car's in the bar at Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth.
Anyway.
Café Anyway.
Anyway.
So what happened was the Kavanaugh hearing had an interesting person. I think her name was...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Linda Blatt, or is it Lisa Blatt? No, that's not the podcast picture. It is of... Oh, I'll figure that out in a second. First, though, So she is a lawyer who has argued many liberal cases. Basil! I would post a picture of Basil today, but I want to post another one from the lovely land of Florida. Talked to my mom yesterday. Her back is not doing any better. That's cause for concern. And I find out that it was partly because she was doing a little bit of yard work before I got there in preparation of her son appearing, and she overdid it. And isn't that the story? Haven't you heard that a million times about someone older hurting themselves because they just went they pushed themselves a little too hard? So so she's gonna see the doctor today, so think of her, think good thoughts, put her in your thoughts and prayers. That phrase needs to go fast. Just I don't know. Pray for her, basically. Why do we have to say thoughts and prayers if we really mean putting out into the universe a actual spiritual call, requesting help from some higher being? Or perhaps if you don't believe in a higher being, in a God, in a Jesus, in an Allah, in a Muhammad, in a Buddha, in a whatever, maybe you just are going to... Because the whole notion... I mean, it says in the Bible, God helps those who help themselves. Okay, maybe that's not in the Bible. Maybe that's something that we attribute to the Bible, but it is not in it. But yet, it is a saying about get off your duff and do something. Well, you can't really do anything for my mom. I have to do all the work for my mom because that's my thing. But yeah, I understand. If you are telling someone, well, I'll put you in my prayers, it's a nice thought. It's a nice gesture. In fact, I was just about to get off the bus. I was heading to the airport. I had to take a shuttle from Daytona Beach to Orlando. They're about an hour and a half. And the shuttle service does a couple stops. So it ends up being a little less than a 2-hour drive to get from Daytona to Orlando. But my mom can't pick me up, so I have to do this. And I get all the way to the Orlando airport. And this lady that I've been sitting next to for about a half hour, who got on during the ride, she says to me, just as I'm about to get off the shuttle, because I can't wait to get off this shuttle, I've been sitting right over the wheel and bouncing up and down and having a fun time with that, and she says to me, oh yeah, have a good, I said have a good trip. She goes, oh yeah, this has been a terrible trip, and my uncle's in the hospital, my aunt just fell down, she starts giving me her whole story. And I'm like, I gotta get off. The guy is waiting for me to get off the shuttle. What, now? Really? Now you want to unburt? And one lady that was also trying to get off, also trying to figure out why the hell she's telling us all this stuff now. She says, you're in my prayers, and then gets off the shuttle. So that's what we do, isn't it? Your thoughts and prayers. Oh. Hey, why don't I post a picture, since we did yesterday, that one in Sanford, in that little German delicatessen I was out in front of, with that funny cardboard cutout of I don't know what that was, a pretzel. This is a riverboat in Sanford. Sanford's on this big lake that is filled with water by the St. Johns River, which is one of the biggest rivers. I think it is the biggest river in Florida. And so this lake is huge. Is it Lake Mary? But yeah, the Barbara Lee is this cool little riverboat, which, here's a little thing if you ever take the Barbara Lee. They chart, you thought you paid for the whole day, and you get your meal and everything. But in the end, even though you've had people serve you, they want you to give a tip after the thing. They do this, the guy, the MC, and everyone's laughing, and they've been plied full of alcohol. Well, all kidding aside, says the MC, all kidding aside, make sure you tip your waiters and waitresses. That's what they're here. They're working hard for you. So I was, all right, I guess I got to do a tip. But then I ended up putting the tip on I thought the mimosas were free. There's no such thing as a free mimosa. It wasn't part of the plan. That was extra. So I had a bill come out to like $40 worth of mimosas. Adding on gratuity and everything. Florida ain't cheap, my friend. It's becoming like the Bay Area. The prices are going up. So this is the Barbara Lee. All that said, just be realizing that when you get on the Barbara Lee, you're going to have to pay the gratuity on the Barbara Lee, is all I wanted to say. Which leads us to the segment we have not done in an awful long time called...
Oh my god!
Email for email at your calm and not so calm mess.
You may recall a couple days ago, I said I'm going to end the show because no one ever emails me or sends me comments on any of my social media, which I'm all over the place. You name it, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, the thing with the photographs, with the pictures that has a graham in it, graham crackers, something, all that. I'm all over the place, and no one ever comments, no one ever says anything, and I never get an email. Well, I got an email, so here we go. Dear Mr. Matthews, my name is Tesserae Dorenz, and I listen to your show every day in Derwiz, Turkmenistan. Derwiz, Turkmenistan. That sounds like an interesting place. In fact, every night, all the people in my village crowd into my little yap pike. I wonder if that's the same as like a yurt. Just to listen to your show. Mike's, period, daily, period, pod, hyphen, cast. Yeah! Exclamation point. We love Madame Rootabega, Chely Shoehart, the Brewmaster, Floyd the Doorman. Floyd the Doorman. He's going to be so mad when he hears that. He's a floorman, not a doorman. And all the Café Anyway characters. What's this you say about stopping the show? That's a joke, yes? Like America, haha, yes? Oksana and Alyuk were very upset to hear you're going to cancel your show in March. They threatened to kill the ox and throw it into the river. Why would you do that? You live off these oxen. The oxen are your livelihood. Don't kill the ox unless you're going to eat it. Unless it's old. I don't know what the actual... I don't know anything. This is what the point of this show. But I don't know your rules is what I'm saying. I may not be familiar with your culture, Tesserae. That is a very bad omen for our village, Tesserae goes on to say. Please, Mr. Matthews, save our village. Make Oksana and Alyuk happy again. Tell us you will not cancel show. You will not tell us you will not cancel show. Thank you. Kindly, Tesserae Dorans. P.S. We are looking forward to your Yule greeting this year. All year, Malika has been fattening the sheep we will kill and eat in celebration of our Yule greeting. Do not let us down, Mr. Matthews. Thank you. Isn't that sweet? I wrote them back and thanked them so much for that lovely email. But then I get another email from Tesserae. Dear Mr. Matthews, thank Zeus you responded. We are so happy. Oksana and Alyuk did ceremonial dance. We have a statue of you. We have a statue of you and Basil the Boxer in our square. Speaking of Basil the Boxer, why don't you say something to them? Thank you, Basil. Very good. We have a statue of you and Basil the Boxer in our square. The children love to throw their chickens at it. Aww. We have some chickens here at Café Anyway, and we'll throw them right back at you. There. That was so funny. If you come here to Derwees, I will make ox sandwich for you. Very easy. Oh, good, because I was asking her about the ox sandwich. Sounds delicious. I've had oxtail soup, but not ox sandwich. Your devoted fan, Tesserae Dorans. Thank you so much, Tesserae. That was a lovely email. It was so nice. That we all need something like that. We all need somebody to... Hey, there is also, I got a Facebook message that never, ever, ever happens. So there was a guy that I asked to do a movie critique on my show because he's so into movies, and he's actually a movie editor. And so I asked him if he would like to do like a little segment on my show where he would talk about movies. And he said, yeah. Well, then one thing after another kept coming up, and he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. And then he finally told me that he was nervous. Has nothing to do with your show, and it means a lot to me that you would even ask. Just wanted to be clear with you. I'd love to sit in and see you record when I'm in San Francisco next week. Well, that never happened. And that was what? How long ago was that? That was like 3 years ago. So, I hear from him this morning. I guess at about 1:18. Hey, Mike, so I'm starting to get into podcasting. Oh, great. I love that. So I used to be all Mr. Everybody should podcast because all we've got are these radio people that host talk shows, and you got your Rush Limbaughs and Sean Hannitys, and we know what they think. And who cares what they think, even though they got their millions of minions that follow them into the brink, follow them anywhere. And I know I've got my minions too, I guess now in Durens or whatever. Or they've erected a statue for me. That's so nice. And the wonderful Basil the Boxer. But the point is that I'm a bit worried that this guy says and I've talked about this in recent podcasts because there was someone else hitting me up for podcast knowledge. saying, hey, yeah, I want to do podcasting. It looks so easy. I'm going to do it. You can't do one a month, which ends up happening. They say, I'm going to do one a week, or 2 or 3 a week, or I'm going to do as many as you do a week, Mike. And then they do one a month, and then they completely forget about it. It's too much work. So the one group of people that I helped, gave them a bunch of free info that I knew. They did a podcast. I have not heard it yet, but so they're off on and going. We'll see if they are consistent. Consistent is the key. Consistency. So apparently, okay, so here's what they say. So I'm starting to get into podcasting, and I tell you, the podcast listener of Mike's Daily Podcast that lives in Turkestan or wherever, that please podcast, but be consistent. That's all I'm saying. So I'm starting to get into podcasting, helping my friend produce his. Bought a USB mic. Yeah, those are so cheap now. And they give you great quality. And exploring the internet-based services like Zencaster and Cast. Okay. Never heard of those. I think with all the other people I use, like Podomatic and Spreaker, that's about the same thing. But maybe I will check out Zencaster and Cast. When you can record guests from totally different locations. Oh, that's what that does. Okay, so you can have multiple guests. Basically, it records locally, syncs and uploads them to cloud storage so you can edit together easily. It sounds like you're in a studio together, even if you're across the country. Excellent. I didn't even know about that. There used to be this thing called Blog Talk Radio. It's probably still in existence. It's horrible. It's basically, you listen to it, and the host and the caller are both on a phone. And it sounds terrible, because you got this, so welcome to the show today. Let's listen to and here's my guest, Robert. How are you, Robert? I'm just fine, Mike. How are you today? Oh, I'm great. Let's talk about this boring subject, blah, 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 blah. And when, by the way, this whole Brett Kavanaugh thing, whenever I hear about, and he published in some legal magazine or newspaper somewhere, I go, what? That must be the most fun reading in the world, to read that stuff. Woo! And that's why I don't make gazillions of dollars like lawyers do. Back to this interesting email that I got. Anyway, since you're a pro in this area, flattery will get you everywhere. I wanted to... Oh, wait. I did that wrong. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Oh, my.
I wanted to touch base with you. Maybe we can work together like you once offered reviewing films on yours. I just became a podcast junkie and love the freedom it has. And now with the technology, there's no more excuses. Hope we can chat soon. All right. So that's a little plug for some services that people may use, I guess. But all right, thanks for the email text thing. As we go outside a Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. And meanwhile, someone else who's been on the show, who I thought was going to be on the show to talk about her new music, is now plugging another event she's doing. And I'm just going to completely avoid that because that's not really you. It's a localized Seattle thing, and this show apparently is huge in Turkmenistan. And that's good. Hey, last show was called Gauntlet. I threw down the gauntlet. Someone picked it up and gave it up and said, you dropped this. And I thank you so much. Real quick, I've been meaning to get to this for a long time. So there's someone that I work with who, well, we had this little thing at work where if you walk a certain amount of time, you get points, and then everybody walks as a team, and they're all supposed to get points. Well, apparently I didn't get all the points I should have. And I called and I talked to someone about it, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is a lot of extra work that I don't need to do. And I called like twice, and then this guy I work with said, why don't you go ahead and call a third time? That's the advice I love to get, is the third time. Third time's the charm. And... well, I ended up doing it a third time. So, but the point is, I hate advice. And Bob Woodward, did you see? No, I love advice. It's important to get advice. But I don't understand the third time in this situation. It's still, and it's stupid points, and who cares? I'm never, ever, ever, as I said this before, I'm never, ever, ever doing that again with the work, with the walking and getting points on a team, because everybody becomes this team. We already have a team. It's a job thing that we got to work every day in and day out. To put this extra layer of pressure, I hate it, and I don't want it. And I've said goodbye to it, and I've cast it off onto its little what do you call it? Igloo on an iceberg, and it's off.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
No more work. Crap. Okay, Bob Woodward, did you hear that conversation yet that he had with Trump? They've been playing it on some news stuff, where you hear Trump going, Bob, yeah, you wrote a book about me, and you never called. He goes, Mr. President, I tried calling 6 times, and you never answered the phone, and I called, and he's like, why you never called me? Did you take the call, Kellyanne Conway? No, we didn't take the call. And it goes on, and it's 10 minutes of that, and the fact is, Bob Woodward sucks. I don't care what dirt he's dug up on Trump. He was as mean as possible to Obama. If you think he's some kind of liberal writer that goes after, he went after Nixon, he went after Trump. This guy just...
That's not even funny.
Just skewered Obama, and
Washington's made things worse.
I just hate Woodward. That's my word for the day, and I'm done hearing him. And even though I'm open to ideas,
I will welcome ideas from anybody.
I will not go ahead and call a third time. I gotta go. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere, the engineer. Bye.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!